Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you are able to hear me, can you reply in the chat window, please? Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. So yesterday, a new topic was started related to Jama plural. So in Arabic language, ism is categorized into three numbers when it comes to numbers. In other languages, it is singular and plural. But in Arabic language, it is singular, dual, and plural. Okay? Mufrad, Muthanna, Jama. And inshallah, we'll go into details of Muthanna later on. So all these chapters, first 10 chapters, most of the examples that you were seeing were all mufrad, singular. Actually, the topic of Jama is coming in lesson number 13 of this book. But I am taking concepts in advance. So though these slides on YouTube, it's mentioned that these are concept slides for lesson 11 and 12. Actually, it also includes part of lesson 13. Okay, so make a note of that. So you will not see examples of Jama plurals in lesson 11, 12, but it's coming in lesson 13. So what has been done yesterday is, I mentioned there are two kinds of Jama: Jama Saalim, Jama Takseer. And I mentioned to you, I'm not going through these slides in detail, but I'm just displaying this slide to remind you that what's the difference between Jama Saalim and Jama Takseer. In Jama Saalim, the original word, for example, Muslim, actually it is written as Muslimun, that is mufrad, singular. And when it is converted into plural, then I'm just adding two letters here, waw and noon, una. You can say una. Okay, waw and noon. And the other letters are intact. Okay, Muslim, for example, meme, sin, la, meme, it's intact. Okay, so Muslimun or Muslimuna. The same way, Muslimatun, it's ta is ta marbuta, this round ta. It's only for the sake of identification for feminine. Okay, so this indicates that this is femininism. Otherwise, it is Muslim. So it becomes Muslimatun. So when I'm adding just atun in front of it, it becomes Muslims, but Muslim women. It's referring to many Muslim women. So the original word is not broken. That those isms are called Jama Salim. When it comes to Jama Takseer, the original word is broken. So here it is Talibun became Tullabun. So after Ta there was Alif, but here Alif is missing. After Ta there is Lam, Tullabun. The word is completely changed. In the same way, Ukhtun, which means sister, and Akhawatun means sisters. And again here after Kha there was Ta, but here Waw is introduced and Alif is there. So it's completely broken. The original word is completely broken. And Takseer means broken. That's why it's called Jama Takseer. Okay. Now, I'll show you some examples of Jama Takseer. Talibun, as you mentioned, Tullabun, Alamun will be Aqlamun. qalamun, aqlamun. Now these are Jama Takseer. Now you have to remember some of these because I'm taking only those words which have come in this book. So you have to remember these Jama. Now the other Jama, you will know it by practice as you will learn language more and more. So you will learn what is Jama for that particular word. So qalamun is aqlamun. Again, it is broken. Before there is a hamza added before it, and there is a alif added after lam. So it's the original word is broken. That's why it's in the category of Jama Takseer. Waladun means a boy. Awladun. It becomes awladun. Okay, that should be fatha here. Okay, awladun. Waladun becomes awladun. Okay, boys. Kitabun becomes kutubun. Kitabun becomes kutubun. You know, in India and India, Pakistan, and these countries, many times libraries called as kutub khana. Okay, kutub is again indicating plural of. It's an Arabic word actually. Kutub. It's plural of kitab. Kitab means single book. Kutub or kutubun means books. Okay. Again, it is broken because here after ta there was alif, but there is no alif here. It's missing. So the original word is broken. Jama Takseer. Rasulun becomes rusulun. Rasulun becomes rusulun. Now this word frequently comes in Quran. Both Rasulun and Rusulun comes in Quran. So you have to be careful when you are reading Quran. If there is a word Rusulun, which means messengers, and if you are pronouncing it Rasulun or Rusulun, then its meaning will be totally different because Rasulun means single messenger. Okay, Rusulun means messengers. Okay, so you have to be careful that, you know, if you don't pronounce correctly, the meaning can change. So the meaning of ayah will change. Faqirun means a poor man. Faqirun. Fuqara'u. Fuqara'u. Faqirun becomes fuqara'u. Jama Takseer. Jadidun means new, becomes jududun. Jadidun becomes jududun. Tabibun becomes atibba'u. Tabibun becomes atibba'u. Akhun becomes ikhwatun. Akhun becomes ikhwatun. Okay? Akhun becomes ikhwatun. Shaykhun becomes shuyukhun. So all these are Jama Takseer, broken plurals. Okay? Why? Because the original word, the singular word is broken. Shaykhun. Shaykhun is what? Sheen, Ya, and Ha. But shuyukhun, the plural became shuyukhun. So it's this original word is broken. After Ya, there is Waw and all those. So these are some examples of Jama Takseer. Now these, whatever examples I've taken in this slide, keep on practicing at home because these plurals have come in this book. Okay, all these plurals have come in this book. So at least you should know these plurals. As for other words, you will know it gradually. And it happens with when you're learning any language, you will not know plural of that language unless and until you'll be practicing that language. Okay. So these are Jama Takseer. So as I mentioned, Arabic language consists of two categories of Jama, two categories of plurals, Jama Takseer and Jama Saalim. Okay. Now let's take the other category. Okay. Now let's first see the i'rab of Jama Takseer. I'rab. Now, yesterday I repeated the topic of i'rab for singular words. Now, I mentioned that what is important is you see the sign of the last letter of the word. And that becomes the i'rab of the word. That's called i'rab. You know, in India, Pakistan, and in other countries, Asian countries, many times i'rab is referred to the vowels in Arabic language. That's wrong. That's totally wrong. That's not i'rab. Those are called harakat. Okay, those are called harakat. So you see this fatha, damma, kasra, or in Urdu you call it as Zair, Zabar, Zair, Pesh, all these are not i'rab, these are harakat. The correct name for that is called harakat. I'rab is, as I mentioned, for singular words, is the sign of the last letter, is the sign of the last letter. So if it is kitab, the last letter sign is actually kitab is kitabun. So kitabun, the sign of last letter is ba, and that is to Dhamma. So that is i'rab. Okay. Now, same way, same rule is there for Jama Takseer also. Okay. Now, so ism can take three statuses in the sentence. In a jumla, ism can have three levels of status. It can be in the highest level called rafa. It can be in the middle level called nasab, and it can be in the lowest level called jar. You can say, you can compare this with your, normal. You see people are in different statuses in your life also. You see people are on a higher status, some people are middle class, some people are lower class. In the same way, ism comes in a sentence in various statuses, and those statuses are called i'rab. And in Arabic language, it's very easy to identify that. And how do you identify that? You by seeing at the last letter of the word, by seeing the sign of the last letter of the word. So if the last letter carries two dhamma for Jama Takseer, now I'm taking for Jama Takseer specifically. Okay, two dhamma, then it is in the status of rafa. If it takes two fatha, the last letter, then it is in the status of nasab, or that ism is called mansoob. So you can either call it mansoob, that ism is mansoob, or it is in the status of nasab. And if the last letter takes two kasra, then it is majroor, or it is in the status of jar. Okay, it is in the status of jar. Now, in the same way, if the last letter takes single dhamma, then also it is rafa. If it takes single fatha, then it is in nasab. And if it takes single kasra, then it is in the status of jar. Okay, nasab, rafa, nasab, and jar. Now, these rules are valid for mufrad, as I mentioned yesterday, singular, plus the same rule is valid for Jama Takseer. The same rule is valid for Jama Takseer. Understood, brothers and sisters? So same rule is valid for Jama Takseer. I will take practical examples of this. Okay, so the ending sounds of Jama Takseer. Let's say there is a single word called talibun. Now, what is the Jama of talibun? Okay, if you want to answer, people who would like to answer, they can type their answers in the chat window. So we have taken some examples of Jama. Yes, tullabun. So tullabun is in the rafa state. Tullaban will be in the nasab state. Tullabin will be in the jar state. Okay, so if I am saying tullabun, then it is marfu. Tullaban, then it is mansub. Tullabin, then it is majroor. Okay, the meaning is same, which is students, okay. Yeah, so this is the spelling is correct. Okay, but here I have given a gap here. It's after lam there is alif. So there are two ways to write. You can write it this way, or you can write it this way. Same. Okay, tullaban, tullabin. Okay. Now in the same way, If the singular is qalamun, what is the plural of qalamun? What is the plural of qalamun? Aqlamun. Very good. Aqlamun. So what is the mansoob of this ism? What is mansoob? What will be the mansoob? Aqlaman. And majroor will be aqlamin. Okay. Majroor will be aqlamin. Okay. Now, baytun. What is the plural of baytun? Buyutun. Buyutun. Buyutan. Buyutin. Okay. Buyutun. Buyutan. Buyutin. Kitabun. Kitabun will be kutubun. Kutuban. And kutubin. Okay. So the rule is exactly valid, same for singular mufrad and as well as Jama Takseer. Clear, brothers and sisters? Any confusion in this? No confusion. So how do you identify the i'rab? I'rab is the ending sound of the word. I'rab is the ending sound of the word. Okay. Now, Jama Saalim. Let's look into Jama Saalim. Now, Muslimun. Muslimun, the Jama Saalim for that, as I mentioned earlier, is Muslimuna. Or in Quran, you are always reading it. So many times it has come Muslimun, Muslimun, you know. In many ayat, you'll see Muslimun. Muslims are referred as Muslimun. Muslims, in English we'll say plural as Muslims. Okay. Muslimun, or I'm taking the last harkat, I'm pronouncing the last harkat also, so I'm saying Muslimun. Actually, it is Muslimun because you are stopping there. So Muslimuna. There is another way to call the same plural, which is Muslimina. So you must have noticed both these words have come in Quran. Muslimun, sometimes Muslims are referred with Muslimun, sometimes Muslims are referred with Muslimin. You know, yesterday we took this example, Amirul Mu'mineen. Okay. You can even say Mu'minun. Okay. So here, sometimes why these they come in different so we will yeah, we are going to explain that. So mu'minun can also be called as mu'minuna, or it can be also called as mu'minina. Both of them means mu'mins. Okay, both of them, it means mu'mins. In the same way, mudarrisun becomes mudarrisuna, and it becomes mudarrisina. Both of them, it means teachers. Okay, both of them, it means teachers. Okay, is it clear, brothers and sisters? Now, why then we have these two ways of writing? So if you have noticed here you are making Jama by adding una. Here you are making Jama by adding una. And here you are making Jama by adding ina to the original word. By adding ina, ya and noon. Here, waw and noon. So at one place you are adding una, and in another place you are adding ina. So whenever una is added in Jama Salim, then that ism is rafa, or it is marfu. Then that ism is rafa, or it is marfu. Understood, brothers and sisters? So the moment you see in the Quran Muslimun, that means immediately you will know, okay, so it's referring to Muslims, but in this sentence it is in the status of rafa, or it is marfu. In the same way, mu'minun, it is marfu. Mudarrisun, it is marfu. Okay. Now, what is Muslimina and Mu'minina and Mudarrisina? So this is nasab or mansoob, as well as jar or majroor. So when it comes to muslimina, mu'minina, mudarrisina, whenever ina is added, then that ism is either nasab, in the status of nasab, or it is in the status of jar. Okay, understood, brothers and sisters? So if it is una, then it is rafa. If it is ina, then it is nasab or jar. Clear? Any question? If it is una, then it is rafa. And if it is ina, then it is either nasab or jar. Fine. Now let's see feminine. Muslimatun. Muslimatun becomes plural. The Muslima means a Muslim woman. Okay, Muslim girl. Muslimatun. Muslimatun, which means Muslim woman. WOMEN means many women. Okay, Muslimatun. I can even write this as Muslimatin. So again, there are two ways to write plurals of Muslimatun, Muslimatun or Muslimatin. Same way, Mu'minatun means a single mu'mina, a single mu'min woman can become plural. Mu'minatun means many mu'min women. And mu'minatin, many mu'min women. Okay. Then mudarrisatun becomes mudarrisatun. Mudarrisatun is female teacher. Female teacher. Mudarrisatun. And this becomes mudarrisatin. Again, same rule here. When it is atun is added, then it is in the status of rafa. And if atin is added, then it is in the status of nasab or jar. Okay. When for a feminine words in Jama Saalim, when they end with the combination of atun, then it is rafa. And when the feminine Jama Saalim, the ending combination is atin, then it is either nasab or jar. Is it clear, brothers and sisters? Now for the masculine, for muzakkar Jama Saalim, when the ending combination is una, waw and noon, una, then it is rafa or it is marfu. And if for Jama Saalim muzakkar, the ending sound is ina, ya and noon, then it is mansoob or majroor. Okay, any difficulty? Ask now. Okay, otherwise I'll go to the next slide. You can ask your question in the chat window. Okay. So now Arab lesson is moving further now. Initially, I told you singular words, you see the sign of the last letter, and that is the Arab of that ism. That is the Arab of that ism. And that Arab is either it is rafa, or it is nasab, or it is jar. When it is Jama Takseer, again you see the ending sound, the sign of the last letter. But Arab doesn't end there. It seems Arab has two different things. There are ending sounds, which is un or u, and for ending sounds, for nasab, for rafa is un, for nasab is an, and for jar is in. These are the ending sounds. Okay, these are the ending sounds. Or you can say u, a, e. So you can remember this way. For ending sounds, un, an, in, or you can say u, a, e. You can remember this way. But now this is valid for what? Mufrad, singular, and Jama Takseer. This is valid for Mufrad, singular, and Jama Takseer, broken plurals. But when it comes to i'rab of Jama Saalim Muzakkar, then the ending sound is, and it's not ending sound, ending combination is una. For nasab, it is ina. For jar, it is again ina. Okay. For Jama Saalim Muzakkar, una, nasab, ina, jar, ina. Clear? Now for the feminine Jama Saalim, the ending sound is atun, and not ending sound, ending combination is atun, atin for nasab, atin for jar. So you have to remember this way. How will you remember? Un, an, in, una, ina, ina, atun, atin, atin. If you want to memorize it. But by practice, you will remember it anyway, inshallah. But if you want to memorize it, remember it this way. You are always going in the sequence, Rafa, Nasab, and Jar. So first, we are saying about Rafa, then Nasab, and then Jar. First, Marfu, Mansub, and Majrur. So you are saying un, an, in, una, ina, ina, atun, atin, atin. This is how you will remember. Clear? Any question on this slide? Okay. I'll move to the next slide. Fine. Now, we'll take examples. Mufrad for Rafa. Muslimun. Muslimun, you are saying the ending sound. This is mufrad. Musliman, you are again seeing the ending sound. Mufrad. Muslimin is again ending sound. Okay, jar. Jama Saalim, Muslimuna, Muzakkar. Jama Saalim, Muslimina, Nasab. Jama Saalim, Muslimina, again Muslimina, jar, Jama Saalim Muzakkar. For mu'mina, for muannas, Muslimatun, Jama Saalim muannas, the combination is atun. Muslimatin for nasab, Muslimatin for jar. So you can either remember from the previous table, un, an, in, una, ina, ina, atun, atin, atin. Or you can memorize this way. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina, Muslimatun, Muslimatin, Muslimatin. Okay. This is how you can memorize. Now, I will introduce you Jama Saalim for dual, not Jama Saalim, for dual, I will introduce you Saalim. Okay, why? I'm not going to take examples of dual or Muthanna, but it's easy to understand because you have already understood Jama Saalim. Muslimun, if I want to refer to two Muslim men, I will say Muslimani. I will say Muslimani. This Muslimani means two Muslim men. I can even call it as Muslimaini. I can even call it as Muslimaini, two Muslim men. Mu'minun, Mu'minani, two Mu'min men. Or Mu'minaini, two Mu'min men. Mudarrisun, Mudarrisani, two male teachers. Mudarrisaini, two male teachers. So this is all what dual. So on all the right hand words, to make them dual, to make them Muthanna, I added ani. And On the left side, I added any, ani, and any. Don't be confused. From Jama Saalim, in Jama Saalim, there is una and ina. In Jama Saalim, it was ina. In Muthanna, it is any, ya sakin, and there is kasra on the noon. In the Jama Salim, it was ya sakin and noon was carrying fatha. Okay, so don't be confused with that. Here, brothers and sisters, here to convert into Muthanna, we are adding ani or ani. So when it is ani, then it is rafa or marfu. When it is ani, then it is nasab or jar or mansub or majrur. That's why I have taken this topic here, though the book is not taking, in book you'll not find any examples of Muthanna. There is some introduction of Muthanna, but in the last chapters of this book. Okay. So, clear. Now let's take the feminine example of dual. Muslimatun, if I want to say two Muslim women, so I will say Muslimatani. Muslimatani. What am I adding here? What am I adding here? Can anyone tell me? What am I adding here for feminine to the original word? So someone said Tani. Okay, brothers and sisters, it is still I'm adding Ani only. I'm still adding Ani only. I will tell you why. What happens when this Ta marbuta, when it comes in between, when you add anything after Ta marbuta, this Ta marbuta is like a string which is tied up. It's like a string which is tied up. So I will, let's say, Ta marbuta, how do you? It's like this. So this is like, I have taken a string and I have tied up here. And there are two dots here. Sorry for my drawing. This is how you write Ta marbuta, right? So what happens when this letter comes in between? Are you able to see this, brothers and sisters? Are you able to see this? Okay. When it comes in between, what happens? This knot opens up. This knot opens up. And what it becomes? It becomes normal ta. And these dots, they fall down in its belly. These dots, they fall down in its belly. I'm just telling you because nowadays people understand only animated language. So I have tried to animate my words for you. See, ta marbuta, actually it is tied up. Okay. So the moment it comes in between, because you are adding two more letters after that, so it opens up. And these two letters falls into belly and it becomes normal ta. Okay. So this ta you see here is the same ta here. Okay, it's the same ta here, brothers and sisters. Okay, and you just added ani there. Clear? So still in feminine also you are adding ani, but this ta is tautanis. That's what we call it. Yeah, tautanis means feminine ta, you can say. Yes, feminine ta. So this is muslimatan. And you can also call this is muslimataini. Again, what am I adding here? Only any. I'm adding here any. Okay. Now for mu'minatun, mu'minatani, two women, mu'minatani, mu'minataini. Mu'minatani, mu'minataini. Mudarrisatun, mudarrisatani, mudarrisataini. Mudarrisataini. Clear, brothers and sisters? So here in masculine as well as feminine, For marfu, I'm adding ani. And for nasab and jar, I'm adding ani for both muzakkar and muannas. Ani and ani. Clear, brothers and sisters? Is this clear? So this topic is very simple. Jama Saalim. And this is for Muthanna. This is like Jama Saalim only. Muthanna. This is like Jama Saalim. And another rule I'm going to tell you today, all Muthanna are always Salim. All Muthanna are always Salim. They are not Takseer. So there is no confusion. When it comes to converting a ism into dual, you just add ani or any. Simple. That's all. But when it comes to Jama, then some words in the language, some words have been taken it into Takseer, some words have been taken it into Salim, Jama Salim. Now, how it is being done, this is all how it was accepted in the language. There is no which words have been taken as Takseer and which words have been taken as Salim. This is all the choice of the Arabic people, the language, those who know the Arabic language. So they did it that way from beginning, since Allah taught this language to people. Okay. So, but Muthanna is very simple. Muthanna, just you add ani or any, khalas, finish. That becomes two. That's very simple. Okay, brothers and sisters. This. Now I'm going to increase our table of i'rab. So there is i'rab are two kinds: ending sounds, ending combinations. Ending sounds, ending combinations. When it comes to ending sounds, it is mufrad or Jama Takseer. Okay. When it comes to ending combinations, then it is Muthanna or Jama Salim Muzakkar and Jama Salim Muannas. Okay. So in ending combinations. So for Rafa, what is it? For Rafa, nasab, an, jar, in, or you can say u, a, i. Okay. Now tell me for Muthanna if you remember. You can type your answers. For Rafa, what is it? What is the i'rab? Ani, very good. And nasab, any. Any, yes. For nasab. Now tell me for Jama Salim, Muzakkar. Jama Salim Muzakkar. Una, yes. Ina, Ina. Okay, well done. And Jama Salim Muannas. Jama Salim Muannas. Atun, well. Then Atin, Atin. This table you have to remember. An, in, ani, any, una, ina, atun, atin, atin. An, in, ani, any, una, ina, atun, atin, atin. Remember this. You can memorize this. You can make a song of this. Okay, you can make a song of this in your own tune and you can sing this song whole day. Okay. I used to take sing songs in my previous class when I was taking in Urdu. I took some from some of the scholars, Arabic scholars, and some I made it my own. But I think when I heard myself those songs, I felt very embarrassed. I said, "Oh my God, what a fun I made it for myself." So I stopped doing that now. Okay. An, in, ani, any, una, ina, atun, atin, atin. Okay, brothers and sisters. Or you can remember in a different way through the table also, Muslim table. I will show you that table, inshallah, afterwards. So now I will, so the question will be in Arab. So there are so many Arabs. So someone might ask a question that how will I know now if there is a ism coming in a sentence, So for example, there's an ism coming in a sentence. For example, al-kitabu ala al-maktabi. Al-kitabu ala al-maktabi. The book is on the desk. Now, if someone doesn't know whether some new word has come and how will I know whether this is Jama or singular or plural? How will I identify which Arab to look for? So what the rule is, always first try to see if the word is carrying any of the combinations. First see that. If the combination is there, then that is the Arab. Then if there is no, you don't find any combination in the ism, then you search for the ending sounds. When you see the ism in the sentence, first you see if there is any ism is carrying combination, ending combination. These are only ending combination, only ending combination. Okay, brothers and sisters. If you see ending combination, so assume that that is the Arab. And if you do not see a word with ending combination, then you look for ending sign. Now, don't get confused that if I have a Muslimuna, so the Arab Muslimuna is nasab because noon is carrying fatha. No, that is ending combination. Okay, so don't get confused that I see a word called mudarrisatin, mudarrisatin, and someone will say ta is carrying two kasra, so it is majroor. Not necessarily majroor, it can be majroor because atin, it's a combination. Atin can be mansoob or majroor. Atin can be mansoob or majroor. Now it will depend on the position of that word when it is coming in the sentence. Okay? Clear, brothers and sisters? Is this clear? Okay. So let's take some examples. Rafa, Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muthanna. This is for Muzakkar. Muthanna, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini. This is Muthanna. And for Jama Saalim, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. Okay? This is for Muzakkar. Now, for again for Muannas, Muslimatun, Muslimatin, Muslimatan, Muslimatin. This is for singular. Muannas. Muslimatani, Muslimataini, Muslimataini. Okay, this is for dual or Muthanna. And Muslimatun, Muslimatin, Muslimatin. This is for plural. This table will help you a lot in understanding the combinations of Muthanna, Mufrad, Muthanna, Jama Saalim. Okay, brothers and sisters. So this table is very useful. You can practice this from time to time. Now there is something, this is an extra knowledge. If you don't understand this, no need to worry, because this is something I am telling you as an extra knowledge. When there is a combination of mudaf, mudaf ilayh. When there is a combination of mudaf, mudaf ilayh. Mudaf, what is the condition of mudaf? Mudaf, never, there are two no's for mudaf. Can anyone tell me? No. Two, no. No, yeah, means this no. This no. Yes, no al, no tanween. Well done. No al, no tanween. Now, what is the speciality of tanween? For example, if I say kitabun, when there is tanween, tanween gives the sound of noon. Tanween, kitabun, un. It's giving the sound of noon. But when mudaf doesn't take tanween, so mudaf doesn't like sound of noon. Mudaf doesn't like sound of noon. So what do we say? Kitabu Muhammadin, book of Muhammad. Okay, that's what we say because mudaf never takes tanween. So we say we avoid the noon sound. We avoid the noon sound. And we remove the noon sound. We remove the tanween. Though we are not putting al with kitab, still we say kitabu. We remove the noon sound. In the same way, mudaf doesn't like noon sound. So for Jama also, it will behave the same way. So if someone asks a question, where are the Quran teachers? Where are the Quran teachers? Plural. Quran teachers. So teachers is mudarrisuna. Mudarrisuna. But Quran teacher means teacher of Quran. It is a combination of teachers of Quran. It's a mudaf ilayh combination, right? It's the mudaf ilayh combination. That means mudarrisuna will take the place of mudaf. When it is taking the place of mudaf, it doesn't like noon sound in the end. Mudaf doesn't like the noon sound in the end. So you will say mudarrisu al-Qur'ani. Okay. And this is mudaf ilayh, that's why it is majroor. Mudarrisul Qur'ani. Aina mudarrisul Qur'ani, which means where are teachers of the Quran. Understood, brothers and sisters? So mudaf doesn't like this noon sound. So you will remove the noon for that. This is for extra knowledge, extra information. This is not coming in this book. Okay? Because you will find such words coming in Quran for plurals. So you will say, okay, so and so word is it's Muslimuna. Why Allah is writing here Muslimu only? Why Allah is writing here Muslimu only? So these questions will come to you if you will start digging into Quran. Okay. So that's why I have given you this example. Understood, brothers and sisters? Now I'm going to take the topic of flexibility. Actually, I'm going to talk more about flexibility, which was already taken. So flexibility is a topic that will be coming again and again because I'm taking slowly. Okay. I'm adding more and more things to the flexibility. I'm going to recap what we have done in the flexibility before, and I'm going to put new things today. So as I mentioned, ism are fall again into ism are three types. They are fully flexible, partly flexible, or non-flexible. In Arabic, fully flexibles are called mu'rab or munsarif. Okay, they are called mu'rab or munsarif. The partly flexible ism are called mamnu' min as-sarf, mamnu' min as-sarf, and non-flexibles are called mabniyun. Okay, they are called mabni. Now, this topic of flexibility is for the ending sounds. This is the golden, you just mark this as a rule. This is only for the ending sounds, not for ending combinations. Okay, so it's not valid. This topic is not valid for Muthanna, and it is not valid for Jama Saalim because both of them have what? They have ending combinations. Now, this topic of flexibility, it is only for ending sounds. Okay, brothers and sisters? Now, Mu'rab Munsarif, fully flexible. What are those? This is again for your revision. The ism that flexibly changes when it goes into Rafa state or Nasab state and Jar state, flexibly, its ending sound changes without any issue. Those are fully flexible ism. For example, Baytun. When it is in the rafa state, it is baytun. When it goes into nasab state, it becomes baytan. When it goes into majroor state, jar state, it becomes baytin. The same way, qalamun, al-qalamu, al-qalama, al-qalami. Okay. So these are fully flexible. What are the examples of mu'rab munsarif? Talibun, taliban, talibin, mudarrisun, mudarrisan, mudarrisin, baytun, baytan, baytin, masjidun, masjidan, masjidin. You know this already. Okay, I've taken just for the sake, but I'm going to add more things. Now, this is the simplest topic, which is fully flexible. Now, what are the partly flexible? Mamnu' min as-sarf. Now, mamnu' min as-sarf, the rule is it only takes single dhamma in the status of rafa. When it is marfu, it will only take single dhamma. No two dhamma. This is the rule for mamnu min as-sarf. No two dhamma. When it is in the nasab state, it will only take single fatha. When it is in the jar state, it will only take single, sorry, this is wrong. This should be single fatha again. Okay. So my slide is wrong. I have to just correct it so that it is not, I do not forget about it. This is fully flexible. So this is wrong, sisters. Okay. Okay. So when it is single fatha, so it will only take single fatha in the jar state also. These are partly flexible. Why it's called partly flexible? It is rigid somehow. When the ism from rafa state goes to nasab state, it is fatha. But again, when it goes to jar state, then also it is fatha. So it is not flexible here. It is not flexible here between mansub and majrur, but it is flexible when it is from marfu to mansub or marfu to majrur. It is flexible here. So it is partly flexible. These are called mamnu' min as-sarf. Now these words, they never take tanween, so there is no question. So I'm just, for the sake of your, for you, I'm writing it never takes tanween. So obviously, we are not talking about tanween. So now this rule is irrelevant for the words that have attached al. Okay. No, so you might say, okay, sir, kitabun is kitabun. In nasab it becomes kitaban. In jar it becomes kitabin. What about if I am attaching al to that? So it becomes al kitabu, al kitaba, al kitabi. No, that is, so this rule is not valid for al. This rule is not valid for al. Okay. So now there is an exception for this. Sometimes it becomes fully flexible when it comes with al, or when it is mudaf. We will tell you. Okay, I will tell you when is that. So let's take some examples of mamnu min as-sarf. Okay, some examples of mamnu min as-sarf. Non-Arab names. Now there are a lot of non-Arab names that have come in Quran also. In Quran also, you should not be surprised that Quran doesn't just contains Arabic words, but it contains non-Arabic words also. And there are words from Hebrew language. Okay. Ibrahim, it's a Hebrew word. Ibrahim is not written as Ibrahimun. Muhammad is written as Muhammadun. Ibrahim is not written because it is from the other language. So the proper names, these are names of the people. The proper names which is not originally Arabic, they are partly flexible. The proper names which are not part of original Arabic language, they are partly flexible. Ibrahim is a Hebrew word. Okay. So it is Ibrahimu. In Quran also you say it's coming as Ibrahimu. So it's partly flexible. So when it is in Rafa state, it is Ibrahimu. When it is in Nasab state, it is Ibrahima. When it is in the Jar state, also it is Ibrahima. Okay. Okay, clear, brothers and sisters? It is Ibrahima. Same way, Yaqubu, this is also not a Arabic name. Yaqubu, it has come in Quran. Yaqubu, Yaquba, Yaquba. Yusufu, Yusufa, Yusufa. Ismailu, Ismaila, Ismaila. Okay, all these non-Arabic names, when they come in, when they are taken into Arabic language, they come as partly flexible. So let's take a modern name, William. It's an English name, William. Now, William is taken in Arabic language as Williamu in Rafa state. It will be Williamu, Williama, Williama. Understood, brothers and sisters? Because it's not a part, it's not an Arabic, original Arabic word. So these are mamnu' min as-sarf. Feminine proper names are mamnu' min as-sarf. Feminine proper names are mamnu' min as-sarf. So Aminatu, it is not, yes, Mariamu is also correct, sister. Yes, Aminatu, Aminata, Aminata. Zainabu, Zainaba, Zainaba. Fatimatu, Fatimata, Fatimata. Maryamu, Maryama, Maryama. All feminine names, whether it's Arabic or non-Arabic, partly flexible, mamnu min as-sarf. Okay, whether they are carrying at the end ta marbuta or not, it's proper name of a girl or a woman. It's feminine, it's partly flexible. Now, those masculine names that end with ta marbuta, those masculine names that end with ta marbuta, they are also partly flexible. Hamza, Hamzatu, Hamzata, Hamzata. Muawiyatu, Muawiyata, Muawiyata. Talhatu, Talhata, Talhata. Usamatu, Usamata, Usamata. So these are also partly flexible. These are all masculine names of men, but they end with ta marbuta. They appear like a feminine because normally common nouns ending with ta marbuta are feminine gender, right? But these are proper names of people. So names that appear like fi'l. Now I explained to you yesterday, I took the topic of fi'lul mudari', the proper nouns, and I told that if you add hamza in the beginning, then it becomes fi'lul mudari', and also ya in the beginning, then it becomes fi'lul mudari'. So there are some ism which looks like fi'l, but it's not, it's an ism. For example, Ahmad, it's hamza in the beginning. Ahmadu, Ahmada, Ahmada. It's improper to say Ahmadun. That is wrong because it is starting with hamza. Okay. Normally, it appears like a fi'l. Anwaru, Anwara, Anwara. Yazidu, again it starts from ya. Okay. Yazida, Yazida. Now, proper names of places, names of cities, names of countries, they are also mamnu min as-sarf. Okay. Makkatu, though it is the place, it's Arabic word, but it's the proper name of the city. Makkatu, Makkata, Makkata. Yathribu, Yathrib is the, no, Madinatu is a different case system. Okay, Madinah, that's a different case. So I will explain you sometime about Madinah. Okay. So Yathrib is the old name of Madinah Al Munawwarah. Yathribu, Yathriba, Yathriba. Pakistanu, Pakistana, Pakistana. Barisu, Paris. It's written as Baris in Arabic language. Barisa, Baris. Okay. So these are mamnu min as-sarf or partly flexible. Now the exceptions. I told you that there are some exceptions. Okay, I think there is no time now. The time is already up, so I will cover the exceptions. Or maybe I'll take this slide only. Okay, it will not take more than a minute. So what are the exceptions here? This is name. Iraq is the name of the country. Name of the country. And normally in Arabic language, all the name of the places are mamnu min as-sarf. But Iraq is always with al. So it will be not mamnu min as-sarf. It will be fully flexible. So it will be al-Iraqu, al-Iraqa, al-Iraqi. In the same way, India is always referred with al. This is how they have taken it in the language from beginning. So al-Hindu, al-Hinda, al-Hinda, Hindi. Okay. The city of Cairo in Egypt, it is also referred as al-Qahiratu. Al-Qahiratu. It's not just called Qahira. It's al-Qahiratu, al-Qahirata, al-Qahiratu. So it will be fully flexible, though they are names of the places. Now, there is another exception. There are words which are three-letter words, and the middle letter is sukoon. And now, these will also be fully flexible. Lutun is not an Arabic word. The name of Lut alayhi salam, the prophet. It's not Arabic, it's also Hebrew word. It's not a Arabic word. Ideally, it should be mamnu min as-sarf, but it's based on three alphabets, three letters. And when the middle letter is carrying sukoon, it will be fully flexible. That's why it is carrying tanween, lutun. It will not be lutwa, lutun, lutan, lutin. Okay. Nuh, this is also non-Arabic name. Nuhun, Nuhan, Nuhin. Why it is fully flexible? Because it is based on three letters only, and the middle letter is carrying sukoon. Okay. Adnun, this is the name of the city. Adnun, Adnan, Adnin. Okay. So these are exceptions which will be, just you have to keep it in mind. Inshallah, we will continue with this topic next week, Tuesday. Keep revising by looking at the YouTube video, and I will stop here. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Barakallahu feek.